Hello and welcome to the Dark Grey Project. Today we want to talk about a hardcore Milsim loadout. And sorry for using the word hardcore, but let me quickly explain. This type of Milsim can take, first of all, up to 48 hours as a maximum. We never know exactly when it will end. Secondly, at any moment we could lose our base and then we're stuck in the wilderness with just what we have in our bodies for the rest of the game. So again, this could take up to 48 hours at that moment. So, and thirdly, this whole game normally plays at the beginning of October in Canada. So what should you expect? First of all, strong winds. Gets even worse because it's freaking cold. And a high probability of rain. And all that gets even worse at night. So, dehydrated is a risk. Sleep deprived is a certainty. And hypothermia is a serious risk, and people had to get evacuated in previous games because of that. So this is certainly a challenge, but I will not talk about all that gear you see here right now on the table, but primarily about this chest rig and the backpack. Why? Because that is kind of our philosophy, how we want to tackle down this kind of challenge, because the rest is primarily camping gear or clothing, or obviously a gun, but that whole setup here is the important, the key piece here. So let's quickly clean up this table and look at these things a little bit more in detail. Welcome back. I kept the rifle here just for size reference because it looks pretty. So as promised, we're only going to talk about chest rig and this backpack here. So let's quickly go over the little details here. So first of all, as you see, this is the Blue Force chest rig. I think it's one of the minus ones. So it's one of the lightest ones on the market. Why? Well, primarily because we want to stay as light as possible. Remember what I said. You might up walking and patrolling for 48 hours, sleep deprived, and yes, if you walk around with a plate carrier here and a huge backpack, you're doing something wrong, because it doesn't matter how fit you are, staying light is key. Let's start from my left. We have a radio pouch here, which is actually a GPS pouch, but we're using it for radio because that means we can open it, change our frequency, and we can go back and close it easily without taking it out and all these kind of other things which you normally have with other radio pouches. 3 mags in a configuration that I can quickly take them out and back in, so I don't have to walk around with a dump pouch. Again, something which is absolutely key in order to save weight, and of course I get the speed here. Now when I'm talking here about this pouch, quick thing which I would like to say, I wrapped all these metal pieces with tape to reduce any other for noise cancellation. The other thing here is everything which is excess, like anything left over here, I normally have it taped like you see here in black with a black duct tape, or no, hockey tape. But the reasons why I don't have it for especially the lower one here, which goes around my back, is if you layer up and you suddenly need to adjust these straps and you have everything already fixed, like I have on this side here, you will hate yourself. So keep these ones flexible, especially in a game where you have to layer up and layer down. Let's quickly go through this pouch here. So it's one of those pouches which don't open completely, so you can lock them, which is quite nice. I think it's one of those EDC or utility pouches. I will post the exact link in the video. The first thing you see here are painkillers. Why? Because I have a lower back problem, so I often end up with back pain. In order to get through the game, I have painkillers. Plus, I normally have foil in here in order to reduce the noise rattling. The next one here is compass. Compass is absolutely essential. The chance of getting lost is quite easy. I mean, I already kind of got lost in the forest once, even though I had a compass with me, but that was rather because I didn't find back to my base. But knowing your bearings, especially in these dense forests in Canada, is absolutely key. This is an absolutely must-have. Then you obviously want to have an extra flashlight with you. This, by the way, we go through this pouch in no particular order. Cliff bar, just something to nibble on while you're out there. speaking about food, it's a sort of an energy type thing, fruity taste. It just goes good in contrast with the chocolatey thing. And it's just a nice little treat in between. And trust me, this little morale boost is quite essential. Tissues for, well, kind of the reasons where you don't want to need, you don't actually want to use those tissues ever. And we all know why, I hope. What else do we have in here? Batteries, all kinds, from CR123s, AA's, AAA's, for all kind of things on your rifle. Night vision. I even have a battery for a T1 in there if it ever runs out at exactly that moment. A couple of pens. One to write on this notepad. And a Sharpie if I need to write on something which is on paper. And of course, Leatherman tool, saw, knife, it's all quite important for quick base building, quick hideout, and so on. And obviously if you need to open something and it's a bit noisy. I think that pretty much sums up this chest rig. So let's talk about this backpack. Well, first of all, from the outside, this is the Gorak there's a Gorak GR0. It used to be, now it's a GR1, but a smaller liter version. The reasons why I picked this backpack is quite simple. It is relatively small, durable as fuck, and pretty low profile. Normal, often backpacks, they bulge out a lot. And again, this whole game is a lot about sneaking, keeping a low profile. Camouflage is key here. So picking also a small backpack forces you to stay light. You don't want to be the guy with a 72-hour backpack showing up at a game which only lasts 48 hours and is way too big to stay sneaky and nimble. Let's quickly start in no particular order going through all these things. So this is normally something which doesn't happen in the game because the beef jerky which I have here in the front is normally already in a Ziploc pap, because opening this one on the field is too noisy. So expect that to be in a different package. In the laptop compartment, some people put in thin rain jackets. My rain jacket is not very thin. I have other stuff in here. I have a foil in here for a map. And I have black trash bags. Again, the chance that there will be rain is pretty likely. So I can put in my rifle in there and whatnot. It's just good to have some trash bags with you. Also, respect to the owner of the field. So the second thing why we like this backpack a lot is the fact that it opens completely. It's not one of those top opener where you can only reach it from the top and then you can get the stuff at the bottom. You have to take everything out. So no. In these type of games, you want to reach every part of your backpack pretty much in the same speed. So let's quickly do that. Let's quickly go through the small compartment here first. What do we have in here? More tissues for all the reasons why we don't want to use them. And some tape just to quickly wrap shit together. So again, it's for base building, quick repairs, crap like that. In here, this big compartment here, and the net one, crap ton more of Cliff Bars. This is my primary food. It's not very exciting, trust me. Maybe you can put in even some more beef jerky in here, but yeah, this is my food compartment. So, in this Ziploc bag, and normally this is actually a smaller dry bag, but I couldn't find it for this demonstration. Socks. If you're out in the woods for 48 hours in your hiking boots, changing socks is a blessing. Why do I have two? And dry socks? Well, quite simple. I start the game in my Gore-Tex hiking boots in normal socks. And when they're completely soaked, then I switch to those ones. And then I switch to the fresh ones in here. Why do I have two? Just in case, it's a backup. Having comfortable feet is absolutely key in those games. My first type of these milsims, I was 18 hours in cold, completely drenched socks, and that was not nice. That was not comfortable at all. So I learned my lessons. Since then I have all these socks with me. Next one in this actually dry bag here. Is a mid layer. When I said hypothermia is a serious risk, I wasn't joking. So this is one of those more modern ones, not a fleece one, it's one of the faster drying one, nylon type fleece type material, but it's really fast drying. It's kind of cheapish, around $100, but this is a really nice one. It's incredibly warm and strangely enough breathable. So those ones as a mid layer, especially if we are trying to sleep or trying to stationary in the middle of the forest, those kind of mid layers is absolutely key. Again, the first game where I was in there was one of those milsims. We were freezing our ass off, and I didn't have a mid layer, and since then I always carry one with me. Then this is a standard bottle of Powerade. Why do I have one of those in there? Quite simple. At my base, so as long as we have our base, I have more of those. So I quickly just exchange my entire bottle. This is a quick exchange of fluids, or rather replenish them a reservoir. Speaking about other water, this is my backup. This is something I can easily refill. This is normally full of electrolytes and whatnot materials. Simply, this might be my last water I have for 12 to up to 48 hours. So again, in the very first game we ran this whole thing. At some point I think we ended up with half a liter of Gatorade bottle, and we had to share it with a friend of mine. So we were over 12 to 18 hours with half a liter of Gatorade for 2 people. It worked, and we were certainly dehydrated at the end. Not seriously, but it wasn't really comfortable. I'm not going to talk about the color of my pee now. But since then I always carry extra water and something which is easy to refill. So let's talk about those ones. This is my knot, PVS 14. The reason why it's in this box, so it's well protected. There's no noise. There's also nothing else in this box here. So if I take the knot out, so the remaining pieces don't make noise anymore. So this is the reason why this is empty. Speaking about night vision, this is the next to this pouch. This is one of those Go-Ruck padded pouches. Extra battery for my gun. I normally never need this because this game is ammo restricted and more about sneaking anyhow. Extra AA batteries for the pack and the knots. Counterweight. Again, you don't want to have this normally on your helmet during the game. There's reasons why it's separate. And obviously the mount itself for the night vision. Now, because I mentioned rain a lot, let's talk about rain gear. Obviously you don't want to wear the rain gear, you only want to have it in your backpack and only want to put it on when it starts to rain. So this one is the SED Gear Spectre waterproof jacket. This is a really nice one. A bit too bright if you ask me. Let me quickly go through the main features. It has huge armpit zippers, which again go in both directions. The hood is designed for military specs. That means it includes helmet and helmet with night vision and counterweight. You can adjust really everything around this hood, all different kind of angles. I think at the moment it's set to absolute maximum. This whole setup is absolutely brilliant. But the key thing here are these zippers here at the sides. Again, they go on both sides. And the principal idea here is this is worn over your chest rig. So when you open these ones, you can still access everything under your jacket during rain. So everything stays protected. And when you need something, you can open these ones and get your shit out. Plus, if the rain isn't too bad, you can still open those ones a little bit. And here you see these overlap. And this is for extra ventilation. So this is a really nice setup for any kind of soldiering in the rain. The biggest problem I have with this jacket is the fact that it has no other pockets, so this is really just an outer layer. And the fact that it's probably a little bit too bright, but we normally wear sort of a mini ghillie suit on top of it. Last but not least, so this is the last item in this backpack, are those rain pants. You might ask, why rain pants? Well, if it's pouring rain for hours, even your best pants will get soaked after a while. then you actually want to have some rain gear, especially if you also want to try to sleep in the rain, or you're stationary for a long time, your guard post, anything like that, or even patrolling around in the forest and everything is wet around you, you really want to have some good pants. Again, quick overview. You can open them at the sides as you would expect it, again in both directions. So you can use this to quickly put them on, or of course for ventilation. Oh, these are the Youth Pro, I think, Milsim rain pants. Has the ones with suspenders and the smaller ones, which don't waste so much space. But those ones are the ones with suspenders. And the reasons why I picked these ones is I don't want to have anything more cumbersome around my waist. There's already a belt, and I rather prefer those a little bit loose. Just put them on, it's more comfortable, there's no risk losing it, and these suspenders are absolutely brilliant. There's a little bit of a bungee in there. They are surprisingly breathable, despite the fact that they have rain gear. But there's also the reason why they're not necessarily cheap. So I hope this quick overview of the essential gear helped a little bit. Again, stay light, really force yourself to wear a small backpack and a really small chest rig, because that limits the gear you're carrying around. So really just have the essentials. Really take out everything you absolutely don't need. It's only 2 days out there and you don't need all your creature comfort stuff. Small little moral boosts like that is all you actually need. The game will end eventually, so don't take it to too extremes or too comfortable. Alright, I think that's it. Have a good one.